always start our induction ceremony, we want to welcome those who have already been inducted into the Hall of Fame. They are scattered out throughout the room here tonight, but we certainly want to give them a welcome and recognize them. First of all, we'll start back in the original class of 1976, an outstanding two-way player. He was the OVC Football Player of the Decade, also hit over 400 in baseball, the Thunderbolt, Teddy Morris. Teddy. This baseball great was a three-time All-OVC performer for the Blue Raiders during the great runs of the 1960s. From the class of 1990, please welcome Coon Victory. This exceptional running back helped lead the Blue Raiders to an undefeated season and number one national ranking in 1985 and enjoyed a 14-year NFL career. From the class of 1998, please welcome Dwight Stone. Also from the class of 1998, the OVC Defensive Player of the Year in 1985 and NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year in 1986. He's got a handful of Super Bowl rings. Welcome back, Don Griffin. One of the top scorers in MTSU basketball history from the class of 2000. Let's say hello to Hoops great Sleepy Taylor. A pitcher on the 1977 OVC championship team and also one of the latest members of the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame from the class of 2004. Please welcome Steve Smith. I saw him back in the back, a nine-time All-American and OVC Athlete of the Year in 93-94, inducted in 2005. Welcome back, Roland McGee. This man averaged 130 yards a game in 1984 and led the Blue Raider football team to the national semifinals of the NCAA playoffs, inducted in 2006. Welcome the Flea, Vince Hall. This hardwood standout averaged more than 18 points per game before the three-point line, of course, during his decorated career. From the class of 2007, Larry Stewart. One of the great signal callers of all time in Blue Raider football history and the MVP of the 1994 Blue-Gray All-Star Game. From the class of 2008, welcome back, Kelly Holcomb. One of the great running backs in Blue Raider history, and if you don't believe it, just ask him. From the class of 2008, Joe Campbell. The architect of MTSU's vaunted defense throughout the 1980s and 90s, inducted in the class of 2010. Great defensive coordinator, Coach Ed Bunio. This slugger put together a remarkable four-year career, hitting 33 home runs, had nearly 160 RBIs and 245 hits. From the class of 2011, Buford Mudcat Brewer. One of the great punt returners in 1973 and a member of Middle's famous Mod Squad defensive backfield, inducted in 2011. Welcome, Raymond Bonner. Well, she's done it all at Middle, coaching women's volleyball, basketball, and one of the nation's top administrators, inducted in 2012, Diane Turnham. The Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year in 2001, he helped lead Middle Tennessee baseball to consecutive conference championships, inducted in 2015. Welcome, Josh Rennick. This man is a member of 8 Halls of Fame and the all-time winningest basketball coach at MTSU, inducted in 2017. Welcome, Lady Raider head coach Rick Insel. One of the top defensive standouts in Middle football history, he was the 1990 Defensive Player of the Year and enjoyed a great NFL career, inducted in 2018. Welcome back, Marty Carter. One of the top point guards in Blue Raider men's basketball history, he led the Blue Raiders to their first OVC championship and NCAA tournament in 1975. From the class of 2019, please welcome back Jimmy Martin. One of the most fierce pass rushers in Blue Raider football history, he became the first MTSU defensive end to be drafted when he was selected by the Dallas Cowboys and later won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers. Inducted in 2019, welcome Eric Walden. An intimidating force at fullback from the class of 2019, Tony Burse. He's the all-time home run leader at MTSU and a 5-time first-team All-American before becoming a first-round draft selection of the Boston Red Sox. From the class of 2020, welcome back Bryce Brentz. At the completion of his career, this slick fielding shortstop ranked number 1 in 6 categories and helped lead the Blue Raiders to 4 consecutive OVC championships. Inducted in 2020, welcome Clay Snellgrove. This man is the only men's basketball player to be named to 3 All-Sun Belt Conference teams, and he's the all-time leading scorer in Blue Raider history. Inducted in 2021, welcome back Boogie Yates. And a member of the Lady Raider 1,000 Point Club and played in 4 postseason tournaments, inducted last year in 2023, Anne Marie Lanning Brentz. And a cornerstone for the foundation of Blue Raider softball, also inducted last year, Melanie Manley Durham. Now, welcome to the stage our class of 2024, Jeff Beecham, Marvin Collier, Kermit Davis, Jamari Lattimore, and Ebony Rowe Hale. Ladies and gentlemen, we gather here tonight to celebrate the extraordinary achievements of the individuals who have left an indelible mark on Middle Tennessee State University athletics. And it's with great pride and honor that we welcome you to this 2024 Blue Raider Hall of Fame induction ceremony. On behalf of the athletic department and varsity club, I want to extend a warm welcome to all of our distinguished guests, alumni, friends, and family members. Your presence here tonight signifies your unwavering support for the Blue Raider tradition and your commitment to honoring those who have made a lasting impact on our university. The Blue Raider Hall of Fame was established 49 years ago to recognize and celebrate the outstanding athletes, coaches, and contributors who have elevated MTSU athletics to a new height. And in those days, we were here in the Tennessee room for an 8 a.m. breakfast. Glad we've moved that a little later in the day. Well, since its inception, the Hall of Fame has honored just 182 individuals who have demonstrated exceptional talent, sportsmanship, and dedication to the Blue Raider program. Tonight, we're privileged to induct another class of extraordinary individuals into this very prestigious group and one of the most exclusive clubs on campus. So join me in honoring their accomplishments and celebrating the legacy that they have left behind. I want to recognize several folks here as we get rolling. First of all, the number 1 Blue Raider fan, our university president, Dr. Sidney A. McPhee, not here tonight, but we also want to recognize our First Lady, Elizabeth McPhee. But Dr. McPhee, thank you for being here tonight. Just know there's only about a dozen other things going on campus tonight, so Dr. McPhee may be slipping out to make sure he makes his appearance at a lot of those. But thank you for being here, Dr. McPhee. Our chairman of the MTSU Board of Trustees and a Blue Raider Hall of Famer, as you heard in his own right, Steve Smith. Steve, thank you. Board of Trustee members Bill Jones and his wife Kathy, thank you all for being here tonight. Also from the Board of Trust, Tom Boyd and his wife, Martha, thank you all for your continued support. We have members of the President's Cabinet and members of both the academic and athletic community on campus. If you would, please stand and be recognized. Thank you all. This time I want to bring up Chris Massaro, who enters his 20th year at Middle Tennessee, looking to build upon the unparalleled success the athletic department has realized since he was named Director of Athletics on April 8, 2005. During his tenure, Middle Tennessee has realized its greatest athletic and academic successes as evidenced by the record-setting performances by all 17 sports. For the last 15 years, all 17 of Middle Tennessee's athletic teams have earned a multi-year academic progress rate of over 930. Football, men's golf, women's golf, volleyball, baseball, women's basketball, women's tennis, softball, and men's cross country have each received NCAA public recognition awards for being ranked in the top 10% in their sports. The Blue Raiders have also realized tremendous growth with their athletic facilities. We are well underway and in the middle of the Build Blue campaign, which is a $100 million facility improvement plan to help transform the entire athletic program. Please welcome your Director of Athletics, Chris Massaro.
Thank you, Chip. Wow, what a great crowd. Welcome to the Blue Raider family reunion. It was hard, man, to get Chip to start the program because everybody was having so much fun seeing each other, and I just love all that. So thank you all for coming out. I know many of you traveled a lot of miles to come here and help celebrate a really special night for us. I'd like to thank our administration, Dr. Sidney McPhee, his wife Liz. Chip mentioned Steve and Denise Smiths. We are one of the few people, I think we're the only ones that the chairman of our board of trustees is also in our Athletic Hall of Fame. So that always bodes well for athletics. I have essentially a couple duties tonight. And the first is what we do annually at this event is to give out the AD's Award. And the AD's Award is somebody that gives Hall of Fame contributions, but probably won't be selected into our Hall of Fame. We've got a ton of support people that really help in almost every facet we do, and so we wanted to recognize these people. And so there's a plaque in the Hall of Fame that lists everybody. I think we've done it for about 15, 16 straight years. And our first award winner was Jim Simpson. And he kind of embodies the Hall of Fame effort. He's the one that kind of gets the whole ball rolling. And so let's give Jim and Tony Stennett and Ed Arney and Leanne Bruton a big hand for putting on tonight. This year's award winner is really cut out of the same cloth as Jim Simpson. He truly bleeds blue and does everything in his power to help us reach our goals. He will work tirelessly promoting the Blue Raiders at every opportunity, and he pours his heart and soul into his work. Let's get him up here right now. Ed Arney, are you in earshot? Where's Ed? Come on up here, Ed. So while Ed's making his way to a stage, I want you guys to take a good look at Ed because Ed does so many things for us that one of the things he does is when we have a student that doesn't show up as lightning in a costume, Ed can be our lightning. So if you see a tall, skinny lightning, there's a good chance that is Ed Arney.
It's called being true blue.
There's a good chance that's Ed Arney. So Ed does everything for us from printing to helping put these things on. There's no more deserving to be in our Hall of Fame and to have him recognized in there than Ed Arney. So Ed, thank you so much. This night's always a great celebration of our incredibly rich athletics history. These 5 inductees offer the very best of what MTSU stands for, not just MTSU athletics, but our university as a whole. Any future success that is enjoyed is built on the backs of these inductees and the people that Chip mentioned, our Hall of Fame members that Chip mentioned in the intros. that everything we do is built on what you guys have accomplished. We talk a lot about buildings and facilities, the NIL, the transfer portal, the house settlement, all these things that are happening in college athletics, but there's a couple of things that still remain true. And number one is that you need to take care of the individual, and you have to have a commitment to each individual's success, not only on the athletic fields, but in the academic world and in the social world. And I submit these as 5 Exhibit A's of what college athletics should really be about. And as we enter this new future, this is our core. This is what MTSU is about. And when we build on that, that makes me feel great for our future. We talk about how MTSU is committed to the success of the individual as well as the team. Coach Pete was committed to Jeff Beecham's total success. Coach Donnelly to Marvin Collier's, Coach Stock to Jamari Lattimore's, Coach Ensel was so committed to Ebony Rose's success, and Kermit Davis embodied it all. He never had a player that completed his eligibility under his reign that did not graduate from MTSU. So let's give all those guys a big hand. Jeff, welcome to the Hall of Fame, man. It was fun watching you play. I was named athletic director in 2005, so I got the last couple of years of you. And just to be the all-time hits leader in the Sun Belt Conference, that record still stands. And that's a heck of a baseball conference, so what an accomplishment. And so thank you for being here. Marvin, I wish I could have watched you play. There you are, back there. He's the only person that I did not have a chance to really watch play. But I've heard so many stories in the Murphy Center about Marvin Collier, that 11-0 team. I've seen some grainy old film, some black and white photos. So I feel like I've watched you through all that stuff. So congratulations, man. Well deserved on your induction. Jamari, man, it was fun watching you come off the edge and sack the quarterback. You were part of an incredible run of defensive ends that we had and outside linebackers, from Eric Walden to Jamari Lattimore. And incidentally, they were all coached by our defensive coordinator that year was Manny Diaz, who will be on the Duke sideline tomorrow. So, Jamari, your assignment is to take him out. All right, so you got it. And Jamari's played in a Super Bowl, got a Super Bowl ring, so congratulations, Jamari, on your induction as well. Man, I can't help but look at Ebony Rowe, and when I see her, she epitomizes everything that you want in a student athlete. She's the all-time leading scorer in basketball history here. She's a straight A student. She's an engineer. She always, from her freshman year to her senior year, conducted herself with such class. And I'm not part of the voting process with the Hall of Fame, but I've got to believe that was one of the easiest votes there ever was in the history of MTSU athletics. So congratulations. What can I say about our last inductee? So I was really fortunate because I got to spend 14 years across the hall from him, and a lot of times I could hear him talking to his players through the doors, but not often. But there were times. But it was incredible. We shared a lot of highs, a few lows, and I had a front row seat to greatness. Kermit held his coaches, his players, and himself to a very high MTSU standards. When I think back at Kermit, there's this video of Kermit, and it actually turns out to be his second to the last home game. We're playing Western Kentucky, and Western Kentucky's making a lot of noise, like they can't wait to play us. We were pretty quiet through that whole period, and Kermit just said, well, we're pretty excited to play them too. And during the pregame, the band and everybody and all the people got their phones out and put their flashlights on. And so there was a serenade of the lights kind of during the introductions. And there's this picture of Kermit, like this video, like looking around. And it was a full house. It was electric atmosphere. Monty Hale, Jimmy Earl Arena. And you could just see that pride in his eyes, like the mission's accomplished. He made basketball really important here again. So thank you for everything you've done. And thank you for your friendship. It's been great. So let's have one more applause for these 5 tremendous individuals. So if you're enjoying tonight, and this is a good thing, there's little envelopes. This is like church. There's little envelopes on the center of your table. And the varsity club, we're out of the Hall of Fame for a while we're under construction. And we'd like to do a lot of things in the varsity club and in the Hall of Fame to decorate it up. So if you feel compelled to donate to the Hall of Fame, I invite you to fill out those envelopes. And it's important to remember our past as we build our future. So thank you for your consideration on that, and go Blue Raiders.
This year's class, as you just heard, has 5 very deserving honorees, and it truly represents the breadth of outstanding programs and the rich history of Blue Raider athletics. Prior to tonight, only 182 student athletes have received this highest athletic honor in 113 years of athletic competition. In short, it's one of the most exclusive clubs on campus. So now, it's time to meet the class of 2024. Our first inductee is Jeff Beecham. Jeff produced one of the best all-around careers in Middle Tennessee and Sun Belt Conference history from 2003 to 2006. Beecham played 225 career games at shortstop, starting 223. The exceptional fielder earned the position of shortstop at the outset of his career and never relinquished it, while also proving to be one of the top offensive players in program history. At the conclusion of his career, Beecham ranked first in 5 career categories and in the top 10 of 10 categories, while also ranking atop the single-season records in 5 categories. His 323 career hits ranked first all-time at not only Middle Tennessee, but in the Sun Belt Conference. He was also first all-time in runs with 179, at bats with 935, singles with 253, and total bases with 415. Beecham capped his career second all-time in doubles. His 2006 senior year ranks as one of the best in program history. He had 98 hits, 76 singles, and 248 at-bats. And tonight, he becomes the 183rd member of the Blue Raider Hall of Fame. Please welcome Jeff Beecham.
It's kind of bright up here. You could have kept the lights down a little bit. It feels good to be back. Thank you to all my friends and family, teammates and coaches for being here tonight. I want to congratulate the other inductees on your incredible careers. Each of you have achieved amazing accomplishments, and it's an honor to share the stage with you tonight. Thank you. I'm humbled to stand before you today as an inductee. This recognition is not just a testament to my efforts, but a reflection of the incredible support and guidance I've received throughout my journey. A lot of you are in this room. First and foremost, I want to honor and thank my late head coach, Steve Peterson. Coach Pete was more than a coach to me. I know a lot of you know him. He was a mentor, a guide, and a friend. He was well respected because of his tough love. I know there's a few baseball guys in the room tonight, but I know during practice, everyone always knew where Coach Pete was, and you did not want to get caught slacking off. We nicknamed him the Rattlesnake because one minute he'd be picking weeds in left field, just roaming the field, and the next thing you know, he's right behind you, just slithering. You could kind of feel the hiss, and you would just know that he's right there. And you better be giving 100% effort or you're not going to have a good day. We would always joke in the locker room after and asking if you got snake bit today, and I'm sure all of you back there have got snake bit. I see you. We all have so many great Coach Pete stories that we'll cherish forever. His belief in my abilities, and pursuit of excellence pushed me to become the best version of myself both on and off the field. Coach, your legacy lives on in every player you touched, and I'm forever grateful for the opportunity that you gave me and the impact you had on my life. I also want to thank Coach Jim McGuire for believing in me and giving me every opportunity to be successful. Day in and day out, you were there throwing batting practice, hitting fun goes, going over the scouting report, and making sure we were ready to go. Mags and I were just talking the other day about how much fun we had with practice, just the preparation, and how much we truly missed those days. That was what it was all about. Although I know you didn't love it when I would occasionally spike one in the dirt across the infield, I can still hear him to this day saying, if I have to tell you one more time to get that arm up. But I love you, Mags. Also, I want to thank current Coach Meyer. I know you're here tonight for keeping the door open to the former players. I'm really looking forward to watching you lead the next generation of MTSU baseball to new heights. To my parents, Bob and Anita, your love and support have been the foundation of my success. I'm fortunate to have a father who was able to teach me at a young age. Playing for Mississippi State and the Atlanta Braves organization, your knowledge of the game helped to get me ahead. And you spent countless hours with me hitting and fielding, and practice with you gave me some of my favorite memories. I'll always remember you getting me out of bed at 6 a.m. before school would start in high school to hit a bucket of balls, and I know that I complained about it a lot, but you knew what it took to be successful, and I appreciate that. He would always tell me as a kid, do whatever it takes to stay in the lineup and make a play that changes the game today. Do whatever it takes to stay in the lineup and make a play that changes the game today. And that has stuck with me even to this day in my professional career. Just do something that changes the day, changes the game. To my mom and sister, you have been my biggest cheerleaders, my constant source of strength, and my support system. Thank you for the sacrifices you made to help me pursue my dreams. I don't know how you made it through all those hot summer days, but you always showed up. And Mom, thank you for saving me from all those car rides from Dad after a rough game. I share this honor with all of you, and I know I wouldn't be here tonight without you. To my wife, Michaela, and your family, thank you for your love and support and for coming all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina to be here. We didn't know each other during my baseball playing days because you're a little younger, but I appreciate you listening to all my stories. It's so special to have you all here tonight, and I'm excited to show you around campus and share an MTSU tailgate experience with you tomorrow. To my teammates, this honor is just as much yours as it is mine. The camaraderie, the hard work, and the shared dreams we had on the field are memories I will cherish forever. Thank you for pushing me, supporting me, and for making every game a joy to play. I'll say this, one of my favorite memories was in 2003. We were the underdog 6th seed going into the conference tournament. We swept all of our games and won 4 games to none and punched our ticket to the NCAA regionals. We were so fired up the whole bus ride back from Louisiana Lafayette to Murfreesboro, and news cameras were waiting at the stadium when we got home. As a 19-year-old kid, it felt like we had just won the Super Bowl. Maybe you can tell me what that feels like. I don't know. Lastly, I want to thank MTSU for providing me with the opportunity to play the sport I love and for recognizing my contributions with this incredible honor. This university has been a second home to me, and I'm proud to be a part of its rich history. Thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you for this honor.
Our next inductee is Jamari Lattimore. Jamari proved to be one of the top defensive ends during his illustrious Blue Raider career, helping lead the Blue Raiders to 2 bowl games, New Orleans in 2009 and the GoDaddy Bowl in his 3 years. Lattimore was named the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year in 2010, becoming just the 3rd Blue Raider defensive player to be named Player of the Year during the FBS era and just one of 11 in program history. Regardless of era, Lattimore capped his career second all-time for career sacks with 20 and a half in just 3 seasons, which were just 2 off the pace of the all-time leader and Blue Raider Hall of Famer, Eric Walden. Eric played for 4 years, Jamari. Hope you note that, okay? The defensive stalwart had 11 and a half sacks in his Player of the Year season in 2010, a total that is tied with Walden for first on the Blue Raiders single-season list. Lattimore's 11.5 sacks in 2010 were also seventh nationally. During his Player of the Year season, Jamari recorded a personal best 68 total tackles, 10 TFLs, 11.5 sacks, 10 quarterback hurries, 2 forced fumbles, 2 blocked kicks, and a fumble recovery. Is that all you could do? So, Lattimore's defensive prowess was instrumental in Middle's 2009 season that culminated with a 10-3 record and a win in the New Orleans Bowl. Lattimore is also first and second on the single-game sack list with a record 4 against Louisiana in 2010 and 3 against Maryland in 2009. Jamari had a 6-year NFL career playing for the Packers, Bills, and Jets, and tonight he becomes the 184th member of the Blue Raider Hall of Fame. Please welcome Jamari Lattimore.
How y'all doing? It's kind of hard to go after that speech he just gave. But I'd like to thank everyone that's here tonight. I'd like to thank the people that's here, that's getting inducted with me. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank God for everything he's done. I don't have anything written down here, so I'm going straight from the heart. God gave me the talent, MTSU gave me the shot, and I cashed in. Before I go, I got somebody else I want to talk about, and that's Rick Stockstill. Evidently, he's not here no more, but he's still here with me. And if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have been here to set these records that I set. So Rick Stockstill was like a father figure to me. He was very important to me. He taught me accountability. He taught me how to go out and achieve the accomplishment that I always dreamed of. He gave me the shot to come from junior college to D1 to make everything possible. And I just like to thank him and thank MTSU for the chance and the opportunity that I was given. And thank God. Thank you, everyone.
Our next inductee is Marvin Collier. Marvin was part of the class of 1988. Marvin arrived as a freshman on the MTSU campus in 1985 and immediately established himself as the starting quarterback and team leader for Coach Boots Donnelly, leading the Blue Raiders to a perfect 11-0 regular season, an OVC title, and a trip to the 1AA playoffs. That same year, he earned all OVC honors and captured the OVC Offensive Player of the Year award. His 594 yards rushing in 1985 set the OVC rushing record for quarterbacks. At the completion of his career, Marvin ranked first all-time for total offense with nearly 5,900 yards, second in completions with 292, second for most passing yards with over 4,200, fourth for career passing touchdowns with 29, and first for career passing attempts at just under 600. And that was in an era where you didn't throw the ball all that much. At the completion of his career, Marvin was also the only quarterback in program history with 3 seasons of 1,000 yards or more passing and had 3 of the top 15 marks for most passing yards in a single season. Those came in 1985, 86, and 88. Marvin Collier is still ranked 8th all-time in career pass attempts and 10th in number of career passing touchdowns with his 29. His average yards per completion at 14.5 is still the best in Blue Raider history, and he ranks 7th all-time in career total offensive yards with 5,886. Coach Boots Donnelly talked about Marvin. He was our first really dual threat quarterback, and I've seen Marvin get bent up like a paper clip more times than not, but Coach Donnelly said he had elasticity. And that's true, and we're glad that he did. tonight, he becomes the 185th member of the Blue Raider Hall of Fame. Please welcome Marvin Collier. Congratulations.
Well, it'll take me a little while to get started, so I'm kind of glad they went short because I got a lot of people to thank. I actually came in '84, but I was redshirted. Our '84 team went one game shy of a national championship, and so I have to thank a lot of those guys from that team in terms of what we did later. So anybody from that 1984 team that played football with me, please stand right now. So then we get to our 1985 team, which was about 39 years ago. And 39 years to this date was going to be my first start, if you will. We played 2 games before, but we were going to do a rotational process where one quarterback would start, the other player played the second quarter, and vice versa. We would alternate. We did that for the first 2 games. Unfortunately, the other guy decided he didn't want to play anymore. So the third game became mine, if you will. And kind of by default, I became the quarterback. But it was 39 years ago today. Yes, exactly. So the timing is just right for this honor. I'm glad for all my fellow honorees as well. But yes, and so this was our pregame meal facility. And we came on Saturday. We came in twice because we played at night. We had our breakfast, then we had our dinner. So our quarterbacks coach is here today, Coach Robbins. Our defensive coordinator is here, Coach Munio. Our head coach is not here tonight. He had surgery recently, so he's not here. But Coach Five Ash, I have to give thanks to him. He came to Cordell, Georgia, and picked me up, if you will. Brought me to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I've been here ever since. So that's really great. I'm thankful for that. It allowed me to do football, and for some strange reason, I decided to get married when I was 2 years in. So that person should stand now because she's been with me through all those years, and that's my wife. So, basically, I kind of went through some things in terms of football where all my teammates supported me in everything I did. If you throw an interception, you could become a bad quarterback if they don't stop the other team from scoring. So for all my defensive players, I need you to stand. And of course, I had 2 running backs that are in the Hall of Fame, Mr. Tony Burks and Mr. Dwight Stone. Please stand. Had another one, Gerald Anderson. He was there with us as well because basically during that year of '85, if they didn't have the key on me, they had the key on them. So the keying of those 3 people, Gerald, please stand. But he was there as well. So when you have a backfield that has 3 good running backs, it's easy for a quarterback to kind of skate by. And so I have to thank them for being such great players. In regards to how I kind of got to this point, you know me tonight as Marvin Collier. Most people in Cordell, Georgia don't because I'm the 11th of 11 children. So I had 10 names because of my brothers and sisters. So I was either Willie Collier, please stand. Someone either knew me as Willie Collier's brother, Thomas Collier's brother, he's trying to film, Charles Collier, John Collier, Leroy Collier has passed away. All right, so that was my brothers. My sisters, I only have one here tonight, and that's Marion Paldo. And she's going to have to stand for a while because she has to stand for my other 4. So my sister Johnny, she passed away. Annie has passed away. And our sister Linda, unfortunately, she's decided to break from me tonight and go see her granddaughter who's participating in a homecoming event. So I excuse her for that. But so those are my 5 sisters. And then I became known as Mr. and Mrs. John Collier's youngest son. So that's how they had to describe me because I couldn't be his son since I had so many brothers. So those are my parents. Now I have a daughter, Erica, please stand. our grandson, Jaden. Another son, Nicholas. And the tallest of the group, Dunchell, is at the back. And Shannon. So those are our youngsters. So thanks to them, had an opportunity, and it's been great. Once again, I have to thank all my coaches and former teammates for what they did for me in terms of preparing for games and in the occasional situation where I may have faltered, picking me up and making sure I was straight. So I want to thank all of them. I want to thank all of you for showing up tonight in honor of this award for us. I have a State Farm family. I've been working at State Farm for about 37 years. So some of my friends from State Farm decided to show up as well. So I'm very appreciative of everyone that's come out to support me in this honor tonight. The last thing I'll say is, one of the things when I came to MTSU, my mother decided to give me a piggy bank, which I don't have tonight. One of those things is, hey, I'm going to bring a prop. Well, on that prop, that quarterback in that piggy bank wore number 3. That was my number when I got here. Wasn't chosen, it was given. So today is 39 years. 3 was my number. Robert Alford, one of my best friends, he wore number 9. So tonight is very memorable for me because of those issues and for all of you that's showing up tonight. I want to thank you all, and I'll have a good evening.
Our next inductee is Ebony Rowe Hale. Ebony rewrote the record books during a dynamic Lady Raider career in which she became the program's all-time leading scorer, the only player, male or female, to amass 2,000-plus points and 1,000-plus rebounds. She became the first woman to win the Ed Temple Female Amateur Athlete of the Year in back-to-back seasons. She was named the 2014 True Blue President's Award winner at the Raiders' Choice Awards. She completed her 4-year career as the record holder in 13 categories: points with 2,453, rebounds with 1,410, 79 double-doubles, 130 games started, nearly 4,900 minutes played. She made 944 field goals. She attempted 1,700 and made 558 free throws. She had 664 offensive rebounds, 764 defensive rebounds, and was a Conference Player of the Week 15 times. She finished her senior year with 734 points, which ranked 5th all-time in a single year, and set the single-season mark with 235 defensive rebounds and 26 double-doubles. Her 296 rebounds in 2013-14 ranked 2nd all-time. She grabbed 156 offensive rebounds for 4th in a single season and netted a career-best 34 double-figure scoring games and led Middle Tennessee to a 103-28 record during her career. She is the all-time leading scorer and rebounder, Conference USA Female Athlete of the Year in 2014, Conference USA Player of the Year in 2014, 2-time Ed Temple Female Amateur Athlete of the Year, and Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame Female Athlete of the Year in 2014. Tonight, she becomes the 186th member of the Blue Raider Hall of Fame. Please welcome Ebony Rowe Hale.
All right, I'll try not to cry, but everyone knows I'm a crier. First and foremost, I just want to thank my Heavenly Father for this opportunity. When I tell y'all God has been, I'm already going to start. God has been so, so good to me. He's been so faithful to me, and it's just a blessing to be here. Amen. Amen. So when they told me I was being inducted to the Hall of Fame, I'm not going to lie to you, my first thought was, you know what? I deserve this because The way my knees hurt and the way my back hurts, ask them. I got the doctor's appointments and bills to prove it. So I worked hard for this. Then they told me I had to give a speech, and I was like, it's been a while. I was like, this is kind of like a, post-game press conference, so hopefully just dust off the cobwebs and it'll all come back to me. So when I sat down and I started to reflect on what it meant to me to be inducted into this Hall of Fame, I started to think back at some of my favorite memories as a Lady Raider. So I remember freshman year, Coach telling me the week of our home opener that I would be starting, and I would be the first freshman to start the home opener since my former teammate and fellow Hall of Famer, Anne Marie. So safe to say, I was a little nervous. I remember coming out, and that game, I recorded my first double-double, and that was when I first got the confidence to okay, I can compete here, I can do this. I remember hitting my first collegiate three-pointer against Tennessee at home and looking at the bench and seeing my coaches and teammates absolutely lose their mind. I remember the surreal moment running out the first game of the NCAA tournament, and I was just in awe and just could not believe that this was my life. I remember that bittersweet feeling after beating UK at home on our gym when they were ranked. Sorry, Matt. I remember the sweet, satisfying feeling watching that confetti falling every time we won a conference championship. Subtle black brag there. And lastly, I remember the hilarious moment when I broke the scoring record on a free throw. If you know about my free throws. We're not going to talk about it. So I had some amazing memories on that court, but I also had some really challenging times here at MT that I think really shaped me into who I am. I remember cuddling with my teammates at Coach's house after probably one of the worst nights of our lives when we lost our teammate and our sister, Tina. I remember storming out of practice when I had finally had enough of Coach Insel's mouth, only to remember I didn't drive that day, so I couldn't go anywhere but back up the ramp and back to practice. I remember leaving every game wrapped in ice from head to toe, usually sick to my stomach and too sick to eat after the game. I remember perfecting our choreographed dances at our apartment before TikTok, mind you. We really thought we were doing something until we would come to practice the next day and be scolded by the coaches, and I quote, "I should have been teaching Nay the plays instead of how to dance." I remember staying up late, partying with my teammates, making up our own basketball sorority strolls at the parties, knowing good and well we were going to be tired and exhausted the next morning at weights with Coach Riley. And I remember the many hours on the bus, in the airport, at the hotel, watching my pre-recorded physics lectures. Yes, I was a nerd. Trying to figure out what the heck was going on in these classes I was missing. So you see, my time at MT was so much more than championships and breaking records. It was really the people I met along the way and the impact that they had on my life. I remember the MT fans who started out as complete strangers and quickly became my extended family, some of who are here with me tonight. I remember my coaches who were always so hard on me, but they have continued to be some of my biggest cheerleaders in this journey of life. My teammates, who quickly became my sisters, who are here with me tonight, making me a proud auntie and proud godmother. And of course, my family. I remember the countless times in the gyms across the country, looking up and always seeing you guys in the stands, front and center, being my biggest cheerleaders. So when I think what it truly means to receive this honor, I think about the good times, the bad times, and everything in between. This administration, this program, my coaches, my teammates, my friends have given me so much, and I truly thank God for this journey. I want to say thank you to you all. It is truly an honor to be included in this special group of former athletes and coaches. And lastly, I just want to give one more special shout out to my family. I love you guys, and I couldn't be here without you. Thank you.
Our final inductee tonight is Kermit Davis. Coach Davis compiled the most men's basketball wins in Middle Tennessee history, 332, ranking second in winning percentage at 630. The Blue Raiders played in the NCAA tournament round of 32 in 2016 and 17 under Coach Davis after winning back-to-back Conference USA championships. He first led the Blue Raiders to the NCAA tournament in 2013, the first appearance for the team since 1989, and then to the NIT in 2012 and 2018, missing a trip to New York and Madison Square Garden by just a game in 2012. He also led Middle to the 2010, 2012, and 2013 regular season Sun Belt titles. One of his proudest achievements at Middle Tennessee, as you've heard earlier, is the graduation of 52 consecutive student athletes who exhausted their eligibility. He's the Sun Belt Conference's all-time winningest coach and coached 18 all-Sun Belt selections during his tenure. In his first 4 seasons in Conference USA, he produced 6 all-conference players and a pair of Conference USA Players of the Year. Some of his accolades that he received: the 2017 Conference USA Coach of the Year, 2017 NABC District Coach of the Year, 2003, 2012, 2013 Sun Belt Coach of the Year, 2012 and 2013 NABC District 24 Coach of the Year, 2008, 10, 12, and 13 College Insider Sun Belt Coach of the Year. A couple of his other accomplishments being Betty's husband, Allie and Claire's dad, Davis's granddad, and he's also now the 187th member of the Blue Raider Hall of Fame. Please welcome Coach Kermit Davis.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks. Guys, 16 years will get you a standing ovation, all right? If y'all played 16 years, they wouldn't have stopped. I promise you that. Thank you so much. It's so great to be back. You know, when you go through these kind of weekends, really all you do is thank the wonderful people that helped you along this journey. And so when I accept this award or get honored into the Hall of Fame with these great people, I saw Jeff, Jamari, I saw Ebony play Marvin. You played for Coach Donnelly, so you're kind of old like me, but I'm telling you, those highlights right there, you were fast and good. So congratulations to everybody. But really is, all you do is you thank the people, the wonderful people that are in this room, a lot of them that couldn't make it, that helped you in the 16 years here. Dr. McPhee, I'd like to tell you thank you. Not only were you my boss, but you were a great friend. And not many times in college athletics, and I have some colleagues, a lot of assistant coaches, and some guys that I've worked for here in the room, that you can work for one president for 16 years at one place, and a guy who deeply cares about basketball, who deeply cares about athletics. He understands the importance of athletics, and you're a great friend. And what you and Liz meant to Betty and I and Allie and Claire, will forever be grateful. Thank you, Doc. Thank you. To Coach Donnelly, all you guys that played for Coach Donnelly, he hired me. I couldn't get him to call me back. You know how? I tried and tried. All of a sudden, John L. Smith, he's the football coach at the Louisville or Michigan State. And John L. and I worked together at Idaho and at Utah State. And John L. goes, "You interested in that Middle Tennessee job?" I said, "I'd love to, but this guy won't call me back." He said, "Give me 5 minutes." All of a sudden, my phone rings. I'm working for John Brady at LSU. He goes, "Coach." He goes, "Booch Donnelly." "Hey, Coach, how you doing?" I interviewed with him in Atlanta. And I thought I'd done a terrible job because after 5 minutes, he gets up and leaves. I said, "This is not good." You know what he did? He went out to get a smoke. So he came back. I felt a little better. And so I came here, and the coach before me left good players. Tommy Gunn, William Pippen, John Humphrey, Eric Palmer. We had a good, they didn't have really a great base, but we had left with good players. And we started out 1-5. 1-5, and I never forget, Coach walks in my office. I'm about to pull my hair out. And Donnie Tyndall was my associate head coach. Marcus Mason is here, was on that staff. And I'm sitting there, and Coach walks in. He goes, "Kermit." I just had my head down. I said, "Yeah, Coach, how you doing?" He said, "You remember all that stuff you told me in that interview in Atlanta?" I said, "Yeah, Coach, I do." He paused for a long time. He goes, when's all that good coaching stuff going to start kicking in? I said, I hope so soon, Coach. And he looked back at me and said, boy, you're fine. You knew it wasn't going to be easy. So I always appreciated Coach Donnelly. I know how much he means to some of you guys here in the room, and wish Coach could have been here. Chris, thank you so much. Chris Massaro only had 2 ADs in 16 years, and both great friends. Chris's support and friendship for the 14 years that we were here was unmatched. Thanks to Cindy, we had a great time together. You go through some tough times, but we did. We won a lot of games together, had a lot of great moments, and Chris, forever, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you. To my family, the Enzels can relate to this, and you guys understand this. When you grow up in a coaching household, okay, we're like a pack of wolves, all right? You don't just get one of us, you get all of us, okay? And so when you see all the Enzels running around, I totally get that, okay? It's the same thing. You know, my dad obviously is a true Hall of Famer, and my mom, Nancy and Kermit. Dad was elected to the Mississippi Hall of Fame a couple years ago, was a 1970 SEC Coach of the Year, and Dad and Mother, thanks so much. And I can't tell you two people that enjoyed Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee more than those two. And they meant so much to us. And how lucky am I at 88 and 89 that they're here to be able to see that. So thanks, Mom and Dad. To my sister, Jennifer. Jennifer likes basketball more than anybody in our family, including me. And I love hoops. And she loves it. And she's been to all the games. She's sweated every loss and win out for many years. So thank you, Jenny. My younger brother, Bill, about 13 months, is fighting a new battle in his life that he's going to beat it, but he wishes he could be here tonight. And if anybody made people laugh in Murfreesboro, Middle Tennessee, it was my brother, Bill. So thank you. To my wife, Betty, and my 2 girls, you know, we lived in 11 cities and 8 different states. And you say, well, where do you call home? It's where you raise your children. And so, you know, we raised Claire and Allie here, and Claire was a graduate of Oakland High School. I think she moved here when she was 10 years old. And I promise you, I'd like to thank a lot of people here. The whole Middle Tennessee State University in Murfreesboro helped us raise Allie Davis. I promise you that. And she was really mad because she thought she was going in the Hall of Fame, not me, okay? And I told her, I said, I get it, and you should have, but that's the way it is. But Betty and I have been married for 42 years, and she didn't really understand this coaching stuff. I never forget her dad called her one day, and I was like 23 years old. We'd gotten married, and he goes, Betty, how's this coaching stuff work? He said, let me get this right. Your husband makes $269 a month, and your rent is $315. How does that work? She goes, I don't know, Dad, but he said he'd make it work somehow. So we did. And I've got 2 of my great friends, Tim Floyd and John Brady. And Dave Farrar, I see you sitting there, and Dave Farrar worked for us at Idaho, so Dave, you'll get this. I was like 25 years old, and we're in Summit, Mississippi. I'm the coach at Southwest Junior College. Tim Floyd calls me, and he says, Kermit, I want you to be my assistant at the University of Idaho. Well, you know, from Summit, Mississippi to Moscow, Idaho, that's a long way, okay? So Betty goes, are you kidding me? What are we doing going to? I said, Betty, this is the hottest young coach in college basketball. I said, we're going to work. And Tim, it was the greatest decision that I ever made. You made me the coach that I am, but I'll tell you this, Betty cried from Summit, Mississippi, all the way to Moscow, Idaho, every mile of the way. But we ended up just loving it, and it was great. And then John Brady, John was my dad's. He was my dad's graduate assistant at Mississippi State. And I worked for John for 5 years at LSU. Obviously, Tim Floyd was the head coach with the Chicago Bulls and the New Orleans Hornets. John Brady took his LSU team to the Final Four at LSU. I was a small part of an SEC championship in 2000 and Sweet 16. So what you guys meant to me, John, thank you so much for what you've meant in my career, for sure. But family is everything. And here in Murfreesboro, it's an old saying in Mississippi, you got to root for your community before your community roots for you. And it is true. And I would hope that when people kind of talk about Betty and I in 20, 30 years, they said, they were just a good family that loved Murfreesboro, loved Middle Tennessee, had a lot of sweat equity in the community, got involved with everything that was here. And so I tell you this about Murfreesboro, Middle Tennessee. If you love Murfreesboro, Middle Tennessee, they love you back in a great way. And for that, we'll ever be grateful. And thank you so much for that, okay? Thank you. I will say this about Allie. You remember this, Tim? Tim and John used to come in. Tim was coach at UTEP. John was a coach at Arkansas State. And so Allie, you know, she loves Tim, loves John. So all of a sudden, Tim's first time he brought his UTEP team in 2013-14 Conference USA, he had a really good team. He shook my hand. He said, guess what Allie just told me? I said, what? He said, she walked up to him and gave me a big hug and says, Timmy, you're going down. I said, and she calls John shady, and she tells the same thing. I said, Allie, you can't do that, all right? You can't upset the opposing coaches. Just real quick down memory lane, and we'll be done. 2002, we came in. I'll never forget, Western Kentucky was the gold standard, and I'm a rivalry guy, and I said, that's who we've got to catch, and that's who we've got to get better than right there. Our first Sun Belt game in 2002, and we were picked kind of last in the league, and end up finishing second. Western beat us in the championship game. We beat Western the first Sun Belt Conference game that year, and it was just so fun to kind of watch it grow. A great memory of mine, I'm trying to think back, was Dr. Aaron Todd. Some of you people that are Blue Raiders, Dr. Todd was dying of brain cancer, was a science teacher on campus in 2003. He didn't have much longer to live, and he came, he says, Kermit, I want to see the Murphy Center sold out again. I said, that'd be great. He said, we're going to do it against Western Kentucky, February 26, 2004. It's like 2 months. And he did it. We had 11,807, and we spanked Western's tail that night, 73-59. And it was a great night because of Dr. Todd and what he meant and what Middle Tennessee meant to him. You know, as you go down the years and in our teams, there's some Hall of Famers, and we've got players here tonight, the former players. We got a bunch of Hall of Famers that are going to be inducted in years to come that played for us at Middle Tennessee. I'm talking about great talents, great toughness, would take direct coaching, hard guys, and I get it. I mean, some of those guys, they thought I was the devil after about a year, right? Where's Reggie? Reggie, right? You understand it. You get it, right? One time I was so direct with Reggie, we get after him. I think, Wynn, you'll remember this. I don't know what Reggie did. I was on Reggie about his body language. He was young. He's such a great guy, and I was coaching him hard. We always said it, and they know it. We're going to coach our best players the hardest every single day. And if the best players will be coached the hardest, then you got a chance. And so, Reggie was one of those guys, and I was right after him, and I brought him in my office, and I went at him. Reggie, if you remember this, and Reggie did like you, Ebony. He just leaves. Wynn looked at me and said, what do you want me to do? I said, go get him. I said, that's pretty easy. Go get him. We'll figure all this other stuff out later, all right? So, but we really did. We had a bunch of great players, great guys, and the biggest thing that I get from satisfaction is how they're doing now. We have a bunch of guys still playing, but what they're doing now with their families and jobs and all the great things they've done has been terrific. I never forget we were at UCLA 2011-12, and really kind of put Middle Tennessee on the map. They were a really good Pac-10 team, supposed to win the Pac-10, and we went there and we beat them 86-77 on the road. Greg, you'll remember this, and then Win Case, Ronnie Hamilton is here. I don't think Ronnie was on that staff. Monty Tao was there. And so we go back to the bar afterwards. I hate to say this, guys. I know y'all didn't know that I had a drink, but I did, especially after big wins. And so we're in the Marriott bar, and this thing is closed. Win Case are the only two in there. And so we've had this big win. I'm talking on the phone, and Win gets on top of the bar. And he puts both hands up, and he screams at the top of his lungs about 1:30 in the morning, we just beat UCLA. I said, Win, get your butt off the bar. I said, Dr. McPhee is going to fire us in the morning about 6:30, all right? So we always talked about just happy locker rooms. And so that team got us going. We won at Tennessee, won at Ole Miss, and should have been an at-large team, but didn't. 13 was an at-large team with Marcos Knight and Tweedy and Bruce Massey and Nico, Sean Jones. Those guys were terrific. And it just went on and on. Good players just kept coming. I just had assistant coaches that got great players for us. And then, we had the year in 2015-16. We won the Great Alaskan Shootout. And then Ed Simpson who's our starting guard, broke his ankle the day before we played in Birmingham. And that team went on to win. Reggie got fouled, hit 2 free throws to get us in the NCAA tournament in the year that we played Michigan State. And our guys walking that arena, we thought we were going to win. They were good. They just won the Big Ten championship. Some people picked them to win the national championship. We talked about just being shirts and skins. You know, if you just went to Nashville and played a pickup game, nobody thought they were going to lose a pickup game. And those guys took it to heart. And the way they carried themselves in the last play, and Michigan State played good. We got off to a 15-2 lead, and Michigan State shot 50-some%, 45% from three. I mean, they were great that night. We were just better. It was a player's game. These guys were remarkable. 3 guys I think are here: Jaquan and Reggie and Darnell are here. And you know, the last play of really kind of sealed it was Jaquan Raymond made this great steal, threw it right to Giddy, who's still playing. Giddy threw it to Perrin Buford, who's still playing. Right to Darnell to Reggie, and Reggie dunked one and one, and it kind of sealed the game. But it was typical kind of just who we coached at Middle Tennessee. All 5 guys touched the ball. It never touched the floor. Nobody cared who got the credit, and it was just a team win. And we won the game. Giddy Potts kind of bounced the ball down. He went right over in front and shook their hand. And it was just because they thought that they deserved and they could win. It can happen here at Middle Tennessee. There's no question about it. Our first game we coached here, Donnie, you and Marcus will remember it. There may have been 500 people, 1,000 people. Seats were green and yellow and orange. Remember the old Murphy Center? The last 3 games we coached in this building, we had 31,000 people come to games. 31,000. I mean, so it can happen. And Nick and your team, guys, I want to tell you thank you for coming tonight. The way you present yourself, introduce yourself to me. I know you guys, you're talented. You do. You got a great chance. Be coached hard, be engaged, because I'm telling you, these people will come and watch you play. So we want to wish you all the best and hope you have a great, great year. In closing, I'll say this, and I have some other assistant coaches, Al Pinkins, Brian Berg. Who else is here? That was Brian's used to be the coach at Georgia Southern, Al Pinkins at Ole Miss. Greg Grinzing obviously was with us. So it was great. Former players, thank you so much. It's all about you and what you meant to Middle Tennessee. Thank you. I'll end closing by this is my mom just sent me all these scriptures sometimes and just sayings, and she'd put them on her refrigerator all the time. And she sent me this. It's real simple, but it makes sense. You know, she said, God never promised this life He gave us would be easy. He only promised it would be worth it. And it is true. You know, no matter the difficulties that we all face, it is worth it. So, in the bottom of my heart, and Betty and our family, thank you so much, Middle Tennessee. This is home. We love it here. We want to wish everybody the best and hope they have a great weekend. Let's go beat Duke tomorrow, all right? Thank you.
Oh, how much fun was that? Well, all of these inductees will be part of the homecoming parade tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Along East Main and up Middle Tennessee Boulevard. So come on over to the Alumni House. You can have a good time over there for the party on Main. We do need some photos we're going to make. Hang around. Maybe some beverages left. We've got the room for a while, so I know everybody wants to chit-chat and talk. We've got photos with the inductees. And Mark Owens asked me, I think we've got like 6 NFL alums that are here tonight supporting our inductees tonight. If you all could get up here, we'd like to make a picture of everybody in our NFL club that's here tonight. Again, busy day tomorrow. Thank everybody. And let's give this class one more round of applause. Jeff Beecham, Marvin Collier, Kermit Davis, Jamari Lattimore, and Ebony Rowe Hale. Yes, on your feet. They deserve it. That's a good way for me to say thanks for being here, and wherever you go and whatever you do, be loud, be proud, and be blue.